Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'm Gunnar Rios, and welcome to another episode of the Logical Gamers podcast. Tonight, joined by the usual crew, Mr. Blanca Kong, Mr. Esoteric, and Mr. Hado Wolf. And today, we are going to give our thoughts and opinions on the recent Sony State of Play that aired. For those that don't know, they aired State of Play. It's kind of like their Nintendo Treehouse or Xbox Live show. It's basically this is what's coming to Sony, first party or third party, and it's supposed to get you hype, hype, hype for the great games that are coming out. Um, so we saw it, obviously. We are going to just quickly run through what they showed. I've got a list of kind of everything they showed. A Destructoid article that just gives a list. Obviously, we'll link that to you guys if you want to watch a specific trailer. It's got all the specific trailers and whatnot. So, yeah. So, we're going to start off with the first game that was shown. Saros was a gameplay reveal trailer, and this was announced. I think in the last state of play, they just talked about this game existing. Um, this one they showed gameplay. I mean, it looked like what it was. It reminds me a lot of Returnal. It's not the same team to my knowledge, though. No, oh no, yeah. Okay, that's why it looked like Returnal. It is from the same people. The next game from Returnal and Super Stardust HD devs. That's why it looks like Returnal. It's made by the same people.
Gotcha.
So, um, for those that don't know what Returnal was, was kind of like a Western take on a roguelike game. So you would have runs that would end and you would start off, but you would have permanent power ups if you got a certain length in the game, and eventually you would get the perfect run where you would see the ending and you would get a little bit of lore each time. So this is basically following in that game's footsteps. So yeah, I mean, if you liked Returnal, and I enjoyed Returnal for what it was, I'm a fan of roguelites. You're probably gonna like this one. So I mean, my thoughts are pretty straightforward on that one. I guess for the sake of making it as quick as possible, we'll just have everybody give their opinions, and then we'll just move on to the next game, and whatever conversation happens, it'll go its length. So
Okay. I guess I'll go. Um, I think my thoughts are in the same vein as you, Gunner, because I too have played Returnal and I definitely enjoyed it. I haven't dabbled in a lot of rogue like games like ever. Like Returnal was one of my like more recent ones. And then I have Hades, but I haven't played it, but I heard it was really good. Um, if the folks that created Returnal created this, I'm hoping that they deliver. The gameplay looks similar. They added some extra things like the whole shield thing that absorbs, projectiles and whatnot. So I'm interested as to like the duration for that. Um, I wonder, like they did a whole second chance mechanic as well. So I wonder, like, what is the contingency behind it? Like, is there some stipulations that need to be met in order to obtain that, or is it just something that's automatic? And like the enemies looked pretty interesting. Especially the boss like figure towards the end as they were like going into like explanations of the game, and it was just insanely massive. I'm interested to see how that plays out because in Returnal there weren't any like gimmick features like reaction commands and whatnot, and we did fight some kind of big bosses, not as massive as the one that they showed during this trailer for Saros, but they were like in scale compared to the main character. They were pretty big. So I'm definitely interested in it. I would love to see more. But yeah, I think it looks like a pretty decent title to start the play state of play with.
Well, we're kind of going through each game and just kind of sharing our opinions on each
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, I don't really have an opinion. I didn't play Returnal. I think I watched Esoteric play it on stream years ago. The game looked fun. It looked fine. I just haven't played it myself. I will at some point, maybe. Um, as far as this new game goes, it's nice to see that we're getting some type of new game on PS5 after 5 years. And that's kind of all I have to say about that game. So
Right. Uh, so Wolf, thoughts, opinions, if any.
It reminds me a lot of Returnal, like you said, and to me, it just looks like a game. It doesn't seem overly interesting. It doesn't seem underwhelming. It's just a game. Maybe I'll play it one day at a discounted price. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I don't think I'm gonna be buying this day one. I enjoyed Returnal, but the roguelike genre is a robust one, and me personally, if I'm gonna play one, I'll probably play Hades 2. Um, so okay, moving on from that, we had Zero Paradise for Dead Spies reveal trailer. Um, I thought this was a sequel to Disco Elysium. It is not. It's just using that style of gameplay. So for those that don't know what Disco Elysium is, it's it was basically kind of like imagine you have your choose your own adventure book type games. So you were thrown in a world, and you're a cop in that game, and you're tasked with investigating a murder, and you have different stats that you can allocate. So you can be a by the books cop, you could be a corrupt cop, you can be a drug addicted cop, an alcoholic cop. Like you can literally be whatever you wanted to be, and depending on what you were, you would achieve different results in the game. So if you were violent, you might achieve different results than if you were a pacifist. Um, if you were dirty and not opposed to bribing people, you'd have a whole different outcome, and you would meet different NPCs and have different interactions based on how you kind of constructed your character. So it's kind of like a hybrid between a visual novel and kind of like a choose your own adventure storyline. So needless to say, this appeals to a very, very niche demographic. This is not an action game. It's not a shooter. It's not any of that. Now these aren't the same people, but from the trailer, it looks very similar. So it's very like this one you take from the looks of it, you play as a spy. So like, how do you want to be? Like maybe you can be like a femme fatale and use your feminine charms to kind of get results. You can be an assassin. I imagine there's different paths you can take, and the paths you take choose how your story plays out. So this looks pretty interesting for me as a guy who likes visual games, as a guy who really liked Disco Elysium. I could see myself playing this. But again, it's going to appeal to a very specific genre of person. So if you're looking for like a GoldenEye 007 style game, I don't think this is for you. But if you kind of want a point and click visual novel style, then this might be for you. So I'm interested in it. They showed gameplay. That is the gameplay. So you'll know right away if you like it or not. So looks pretty interesting. I might check it out when it comes out. But gentlemen, thoughts? I imagine this one will be pretty quick.
Yeah. I've never heard of Disco Elysium, so I don't know anything about that game. Based on Zero, what is it, Paradise or Paradies or something like that. Um, it looks like a game that I can watch somebody else play. Like if someone's streaming it and they're going through the motions of like unraveling the story, selecting different choices for the character, whatnot. Just doing whatever that the game entails. I think I'll be intrigued by that because when it comes to those types of games, I get more enjoyment from watching people play and seeing their reactions as opposed to me playing it. So yeah, if anybody's streaming that I know that's watching it, or I mean that's playing it, then I'll definitely take a look and see what's going on. But that's it. Yeah.
I have zero interest. It's not my kind of game. So I know what Disco Elysium is. I've seen it. Um, it's just not for me. So
Okay.
Same. Not interested.
See, like I said,
But
quick. Um,
Mhm.
so next one is the what I'm gonna call the new third-party developer, Microsoft, because are they even a console developer anymore? They're one of their big flagship games, arguably. Flight Simulator 2024 is coming to PlayStation. Um, much like the last game, I have the same opinion as these gentlemen have on Zero Paradise. It's not my thing. Not interested. I know these games do very well. The people who like them really like them. I've seen like some pretty in-depth setups for this type of flight sim, like the cockpit, the control panels, the flight stick. They got the whole shebang. Cool. I respect the hustle. Not my type of thing. But again, this is another Xbox game that is coming to PlayStation. So, I mean, if you want to play Xbox games, just get yourself a PS5 at this point. But yeah. Anyway, not my thing, but cool for those who like it, and I know there are a lot of them.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Definitely not a game that I would play personally, but I do see the appeal. I do see the environmental design looks pretty good. The different planes that you are able to fly. I'm pretty sure the enthusiasts who actually play these games would love to pilot these different constructs or whatever. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea either.
I really like simulation games in general. I don't know if this is one that I would play using controller. I think I mentioned it when we were watching it together that I would be interested in playing something like Flight Simulator if I had the flight stick and I had like a setup that can like fully immerse me into the experience of flying a jet or a plane or something like that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of simulation games of all kinds, so that's something I could play. But if I'm being honest, I'll probably only play it. Like if I did play it and take it seriously, I would play it on PC and I would just invest into the flight stick and maybe a flight chair, stuff like that. But that would be like I'd have to have like a whole space dedicated for something like that to actually do it. So
Yeah.
the likelihood of me actually doing that is very low. So, but it looks cool, and it sucks for Xbox owners to kind of lose an exclusive. The console wars have been over for a long time now. I think the console wars were over even before PS5 and Xbox Series X came out. Um, it was clear 2 to 3 years after PS4 and Xbox One that the console war was pretty much over, and it was just it exclusives just kind of became a formality of the past,
Mm.
and Microsoft is realizing that well, it's just not. It doesn't make sense to go to war. The real war is against the consumer base and trying to get our money, and they realize that now. So we're gonna see more of this. We're gonna see more Xbox first party titles like Halo come to PlayStation and other platforms. We already saw it with Gears of War. We already saw it with Indiana Jones and Sea of Thieves and maybe some others that I'm not thinking of right now. So the console war's over. Exclusives are no longer a thing, and they're gonna try and make every dime that they can, no matter what that means. So your brand loyalty was never even worth it to begin with. So I would get off that horse if I were you. That's it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. And also to your thoughts about flight simulator. I think if I were to see an elaborate setup and give it a try, maybe I will. Not to say that I don't see the appeal of the game, but maybe if I were to see like the immersive perspective of it in terms of like having the whole elaborate setup and being able to play with the shift stick and like pretty much the 3 monitors and whatnot, maybe I would, be more inclined to playing it. Because I have seen a setup like that in stores where for racing games they'll have like the big widescreen monitor, they'll have the steering wheel, they'll have the pedals and whatnot, the gear, and I've never given it a try, but I looked at it and I was like, oh, this looks awesome. So I can see why people would probably go, you know, head deep into games like that, especially considering if they have that type of setup at their homes.
Um, I don't have an issue with flight simulators, or even like if it was like one of the car ones or driving ones as well. I don't have an issue with it. It's just not something that I'm going to like. I don't get up in the morning with a craving to play one, or right, or like if I want to play a video game, it's not exactly the first thing on my list. But if it's available, then if it's available and I just want to do something different, then yeah, I'll play it. Oddly enough, my son loves these kinds of games, and he's only 10. I see him play them all the time. I eh, it is what it is. So I think my most exposure to this particular game would be if it's something that he wanted, then I would buy it on the PlayStation 5 just because he wants it. And at least it's not GTA of any kind. I'd rather buy
True,
him
yeah.
Flight Simulator any day over playing GTA, So it's a game I can appreciate. It's just not something I'm gonna just jump and prioritize.
Yeah, I mean it's very wholesome. It's literally just flying, and I think this one you get to rescue people. So I
Oh,
think that you're the
nice.
good guy. All right. So moving right along, next one they showed was the Battlefield 6 campaign trailer. So this was all about the story mode and Ruha, America number one, fight the bad guys. Um, this looks cool. If I could somehow like get a copy teleported to my home so I can just play the campaign and then teleport it back to where it came from, I would want to do that because I only want to play the campaign. I'm kind of me personally. I'm over um, multiplayer games and shooters. I heard the the multiplayer beta did well, minus apparently hackers being in it. So that's something they got to work out. But this showed the campaign. Campaign looks cool. It is a military shooter, a solid, no bullshit military shooter, which people have been clamoring for a while now. Ever since Battlefield 1, I believe it was, where we had the weird alternate Earth World War II women prosthetic arm garbage nonsense. Maybe someone at EA is like, look, COD keeps kicking our ass every year in sales, and they've just been pulling a Pokemon and doing the same thing year after year. So maybe it's time we kind of like step up and do something. This one looks pretty solid. I probably still won't buy it because all I want to play is the campaign, and I'm not spending $60-$70 just for the campaign. But I might watch someone play the campaign, and I'll get my fix out of that. So it looks fine. I have, for the Battlefield fans out there, I hope this is your game. I know you guys have been suffering ever since Battlefield 1 and 2041, or 21, whatever, the future one that didn't do well. Um, so hey, I hope this one is good for you. But it's cool to see an actual like legitimate military shooter because COD is on its own thing right now. Black Ops 7 looks freaking weird. So who knows what's going on with that one? But yeah, it looks cool. It looks good. It looks solid, destructible objects, and you know maybe I'll get a chance to play it, but I'm not gonna buy it. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Battlefield 6 trailer for the campaign.
Yeah, so yeah, in regards to this game, I think it looks phenomenal. I did see some of the beta. I did see some of the gameplay trailers, and it looks really good. The weapon uses, the demolition effects, being able to destroy practically everything, utilizing different mobile units like tanks and also like flying aircrafts and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Me personally, I'm not going to get it because even though I've never played a Battlefield game, I've always like had interest, but I've never played it. Nowadays, I kind of like shy away from games that require a lot of cooperative play in terms of like you having to play a particular unit and you have to play that unit and other people have to play their role as well. So that's why I don't really do MOBAs, because people tend to pick up these games and they just want to play and not really be a cohesive unit and not follow the objective in trying to win. Um, that's why I also lean towards Call of Duty, certain game modes of Call of Duty, because all you got to do is run around, shoot the enemy. That's pretty much it. They have objective modes as well, but I usually shy away from those because at least with the certain modes that they do have, people tend to do what they need to do by default, which is they want to go after the bad guy, they want to take out the bad guy and accumulate points. So, yeah, to pretty much summarize, this looks like it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to seeing people play it, but I myself, I don't think it's going to be a game that I'll be picking up to play.
It's good for Battlefield fans. I heard nothing but good things about the game because there was a beta for it once like a month or two ago, and it had glowing reviews. So for those looking for a military shooter that's going to return to form, I think this is it. It's probably the best you're going to get, the best you can ask for at this point. Hopefully they don't ruin it. And for anybody who's been clamoring for this kind of game, I mean, now's your time to prove that this is what you want. So I would say, go out there and pre-order it if this is something you've been waiting for. But of course, I mean, do your research and make sure this is a good investment. I know my little brother is like a big military shooter guy, and he plans to get it day one. So if I wanted to play it, I could. I don't think that I will though, because shooters. I've only ever been interested in like sci-fi shooters. So military shooters, while they're cool, and I've played a handful of them before, they're not really my go-to. These aren't games that I typically go out of my way to get. I will play one if it's there, if I'm in the mood to just play a shooter, but this isn't a day one buy for me. This may not be a buy for me at all. But it does look like a great game. Looks pretty cool. And it looks like a return to form for Battlefield. So, good for Battlefield fans.
I'm not against playing it personally. I'm not. But it's not one of those things that it's like a high priority for me to play at any given moment. But I think it was one of the more interesting trailers that I've seen that we saw. I feel like it was one of the more interesting trailers, but I can understand Esoteric's frustration with video games that randomly puts people together to play specific roles while online, and it directly affects whether you win or lose or how successful you are at the game. There's a great amount of frustration that comes with that when you're playing with, randoms. But at the same time, the game is not designed. The game, in my opinion, the way I look at it is those types of games are not necessarily designed to play with random people online. That is the option that is given to us because the game needs to be played. Because your group of friends aren't going to be available 100% of the time. People change, people grow apart. I'm pretty sure they took all of that into consideration. So they say, hey, you know what? Let's have it where you can just get people online together, go into a lobby, fight other people. But ideally, games like these, my personal opinion, are designed for people who have a social life that shares the same space and interest in gaming. But yeah, it definitely seems more. eh, I like military shooters, but I also like sci-fi shooters. Um, so it's not something that I really can say that I would be objected to play. I don't have anything bad about it. I think it was a pretty cool trailer. I saw some things that I thought was pretty nice, and again, if anybody gets on it, then I wouldn't mind investing into it because that's how I play my multiplayer games. It's usually based on my circle anyways. But yeah, I don't have anything bad to it. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
On to the next one. So this one's a remaster. It's a remaster of the original Deus Ex. This game came out 25 years ago on the PlayStation.
Pass.
So, okay, we got wolves. I played the modern, I guess, Damon X games, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, and I enjoyed it. Um, so this is kind of one of those things where I might check it out because I never got to play the first Damon X, and I don't emulate, so that's really my only option if I wanted to play the original one. If this doesn't have a physical, I will be less inclined to jump on it. But if it does, I might be more inclined. We'll have to see. Me personally, I'm tired of remakes where we have to update dialogue for the modern audience. That is a
Mm-hmm.
possibility with this game. Kind of sick of that. So it's another reason why I won't jump on it. But later on down the line, this is supposed to come out on February 5th. So, there's time. There's a lot of time before this comes out. If I learn any of that, they may or may not decide whether I give a shit about this game or not. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not, I know a lot of the gaming community. I know some of the guys here are tired of remakes and remasters. But if it's worthwhile games, I'd give money to that over Ghosts of Yotai. So that's just my personal take. It's a wait and see for me, but seems fine. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah. I can see like I usually am the one that's objective to remakes and stuff because I feel like it's things that's already been played before. We already have the predecessor, but I like the console, whatever, to play it on. But over the years, I realized that it is a necessity because a lot of people are not able to acquire certain games. Hell, even myself, who have had certain games, and they're no longer with me for whatever reason, it becomes difficult to acquire them again. Whether it's scarcity reasons or because someone decides to sell it for hundreds of dollars, and there's no way in hell I'm investing hundreds of dollars on a game that I've already played. Um, so I definitely understand like the need for companies to come back and provide remakes of games. I've grown an appreciation for it. Um, as for this game particularly, don't know much about it. I've heard of the Deus Ex series, but I've never played any of them. Um, I don't know. I would just have to see more about it. Honestly speaking, yeah. So yeah, I don't have any good or bad feedback to give this game because I don't have anything to go off of besides the trailer. And the trailer to me didn't really provide much. They were just saying, "Oh, we updated the graphics, haptic feedback, yay!" And it's coming out February. So yeah, I don't have much to really discuss on whether or not I would be into it or not. So yeah.
I can tell you outright that I'm absolutely not into any games like that ever. That game is well. I'll start with this. It's getting a remake. That's good for Deus Ex fans. I'm happy for those people. Legitimately, like not sarcastically. Like I know there are fans for every franchise, and there are a bunch of games that I would love to see remakes of that aren't popular. And when I do get them, I'm very happy about it. So knowing that there's a community for every niche title, Deus Ex fans who have been waiting for something like this, I'm pretty sure are happy about it, and I'm glad for them. Good for them. But these are not games that I'm particularly into. The narrative driven kind of choice based games, like they tend to lack the appropriate amount of like what I would consider active gameplay to keep me immersed in them. Kind of like Shenmue. Shenmue is a game that when it was first coming out, like it was like, oh my god, this game is amazing. You could like you have to get a job and like you have to do all these like odd like real life things in order to play the game because the appealing thing about games like that is like it's like supposed to emulate a breathing world, which is cool. And at least it was a very cool idea, 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago. But I've played those games, I've tried them. They're not for me. They're way too slow, and they're not fun to me personally. So I would not play this game, but I'm glad that it exists for those who would want to play it. So
Oh man, that was hilarious. Figuratively and literally speaking, it's like, oh my god, now I gotta get a job. It's like, oh my god, what's the work? But I get it because back
you kind
then,
of cut out. You kind of cut out for me. I didn't even hear
oh,
what you
I
said.
cut out. Oh, I was saying that I was laughing because figuratively and literally speaking, it's like, oh my god, I get to get a job, and it's like now it's like, oh,
Oh,
so
well, that's the thing. Like we all know what that is really like, and it's like
Mm.
I kind of want to do everything I can't do at my job or in real life in the game, like rip somebody's head off. So I can't do that in real life, at least not without severe consequences. So, you know,
yeah, but
getting a job and scheduling my time and only being able to talk to NPCs at certain days of the week, like
yeah,
I, games like that are just not for me. I don't have the time or the patience for that sort of experience. But I know that there's a community out there who love those games, and that's fine.
yeah.
And so good for them.
I see the appeal back in the days, right? Because those were elements outside of the norm of what a
Right.
game
It was a
actually
new
was.
concept. So like
Yeah.
it's like what VR was 10 years ago. It was like, or 15 years ago, it was like, whoa, and
Hmm.
it was a new concept. But after playing with the VR, it's just like, this is kind of lame. I kind of hate this and I'm busy. So, to me, it's like one and the same.
Yeah.
All right, we got Wolf's take on it, so I think that sums up that one. So the next one after Deus Ex was Halloween, simply just Halloween the game. From my understanding, it looked very DBD, Dead by Daylight esque. You have the option of playing as survivors, and somebody gets to be Jason, and survivors try to not get killed. Jason tries to kill. Um, Seems pretty straightforward. I'm more curious if they will remove Michael Myers from Dead by Daylight because that's why the Demigorgon from Stranger Things was removed from that game because they wanted to make their own game. I don't think that ever happened, and that's why Jason never appears in Dead by Daylight because he had his own game, which is now dead. So take that information for what you will. As far as the actual game goes, neat, I guess. It's not for me. Again, it looks very multiplayer centric. Not my thing. Realistically, I think if you're gonna play a game like this, unless this game has some vast and brand new gameplay mechanic never before seen, I think you're probably better off playing Dead by Daylight. If this is literally just Dead by Daylight but with Michael Myers, I don't know if there's a big enough Halloween fandom to support a standalone game like this. But I guess we'll find out. We will find out September 8th of 2026. So it's going to be a hot minute before this game comes out. So we'll see. There's going to be a pass from me. But I guess if you're a Halloween fan, you'll be eating good. I guess. That's it for me.
Yeah, it's also going to be a pass for me as well. If any uh, pattern for games like this, i.e., Dead by Daylight, when it comes to me, I get long winded. I played what was it, the first season of Dead by Daylight, and then afterwards I just stopped. I think maybe the first new uh, killer was announced or something like that, and I just stopped. It was like, yeah, I've played enough of it. I do enjoy watching people play the game, but and maybe, if a bunch of people were playing, and not speaking on Halloween, for Dead by Daylight, if the fellas was like, oh, let's boot it up and play a little bit, then it's like, yeah, I'll play. But yeah, it just got I got bored of it really fast in the beginning. Now that they have a whole bunch of new things and new elements, I may be more inclined to play sometime in the future. But I know myself, so I know Halloween. If it's the same type of game, then it makes no sense for me to pick it up, because I will play it for like the first maybe month or so, and then that's it. So yeah, it's a pass for me for this game.
This is an ongoing trend ever since Dead by Daylight gained its popularity. I think the formula can work. It has worked. I mean, clearly it does. Dead by Daylight is very popular, and it's still very popular to this day. I just saw a trailer for a new killer. Some weird lady that infects you, and then like the spirit thing follows you or something. I don't know. They tried it with Jason. That game shut down in I think 2 or 3 years. They tried it with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That came out like 2 years ago. That's probably shut down, or it's like basically dead. And now they're trying it with Halloween. It's going to fail as well. I wish, like when I was watching a trailer, I wish there was just like an offline single player campaign of that kind of like style of game, and they would just add DLC, right? Like, expansions or whatever, and adding like scenarios and things like that. That would be kind of interesting, because then I could just play as a survivor and like figure out the puzzle of like you're playing as this character in this scenario, and so now you got to figure out, like, the game is like a whole puzzle. You can make it like Resident Evil, where you have limited inventory and maybe limited like combat options and things like that,
Oh,
and
kind of
that
like
would be
Escape the
interesting.
Room or something, right?
Kind of like what?
Escape the Room.
Yeah, something like that. But make it an offline campaign, or have an offline campaign be an option, or a single player option. But these games are being forced to like play with other people, and the killer has to be a player controlled entity. It's just like, oh my god, can we just play like, multiplayer is fine. I think multiplayer is fantastic, but can't you just cater to like people just kind of want to play an experience by themselves? Like, I feel like the game would gain a lot more longevity doing that. But they don't care about longevity. They care about fucking milking us for skins and shit, which is why these games are always multiplayer. It's so frustrating. So I obviously won't be buying the game, because been there, done that. And in 3 years the game will be fucking dead, and then they're gonna try again with Freddy Krueger or some stupid shit. So that's where we're
Probably.
at. So anyway.
I don't even watch Michael Myers movies. Why would I play the game? Not interested.
All
That's
right. All right. So after old Michael, is the PS5 launch of a action RPG Diablo style game called Last Epoch. Um, Pretty much the announcement was that it is coming to PlayStation 5. This was on early access on PC since 2019, I believe, and recently left early access, I believe, in 2024. So it's for the moment the only console. It's on PlayStation 5, and when the PlayStation 5 version launches, it will also launch its first major expansion. So I heard about this game, but again, I don't really play on PC, so I kind of just like let it be. So the fact that it's coming on console is cool. I'm interested. I know this one will likely not have a physical release. I'm fully aware of that. So if I decide to buy that, I understand that I'm not going to get a physical copy of this game. Um, I might. I'll start doing research now. I'll start looking at gameplay of the PC version of this game now that I know it's coming out. I like ARPGs. I played Path of Exile 2. I played Path of Exile. Um, I'm kind of like weird when it comes to these games. I kind of like the Call of Duty style when it comes to these ARPGs, meaning I kind of like the easier ones. I liked Diablo more because I could just have like that kind of visceral yay fun of finding an epic weapon in a dungeon as opposed to Path of Exile where I have to plan my life out 5 months from now to see what my build is going to be. I can do that. I can have fun with that. But when it comes to ARPG, I kind of treat it like old school Fantasy Star, where I just like getting the loot and like building my character up, but I don't want to make it a 9 to 5 job. So I don't know what this game is going to be, if it's going to be more like Path of Exile or more like Diablo. Now that it is coming to PlayStation 5, I'll do more research on it. I'm always looking for a new ARPG to play, so I might end up playing this, but I don't know. So it's a wait and see for me. But it's cool that it's coming to console, so now I can like it's on my radar again when before it was off my radar. So yeah, quick and dirty. That's just cool. I'm glad it's on something I can play now.
Okay, so watching the trailer, I definitely was interested. I was like, yeah, I can get back into dungeon crawlers because it's been a while since I've played like decades. But since you kind of like spoke on it, Gunner, about like the commitment that you have to have for, or you may have to have, that would probably be the deciding point for me as to whether or not I pick this game up because I don't want to have no any large commitment with a game of that magnitude in terms of like anything on Final Fantasy 14's level, MMO type base. I don't want to have that big of a commitment. I just want like in this current gaming tenure or like time or whatever, I just want to pick up a game, experience the game, and then like put it down. So yeah, if it's gonna be that heavily committed, like you have to have that heavy of a commitment, then I will pass. But if not, if it's just a pick up and play, get from level to level up, or whatever, then I'll be fine with that. But yeah, that's pretty much my perspective on this game. It looks really good though. Like I love the visual effects. It's action packed. The enemies look pretty cool. The isometric view is pretty good. So it looks good. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't have that much of a commitment, like you said.
I've heard about this game for a while. I think it's been out for like a year or two. I've heard nothing but good things about it. For those who enjoy like the isometric action RPG games, I never dove into them like that. I played a few and I had a good time with the ones that I did play. But is this one that I'm gonna dive into? Probably not. But it's good for those who do like those games and who don't have a PC to play it. It's coming to PS5, so that's a good thing. But it's not. I don't think it's for me. I'd have to have a. There'd have to be a multiplayer. It's funny. The games that I wish were or the games that were, if they were multiplayer, and I have friends who would play them, have multiplayer or don't have multiplayer, and then there are games that I wish weren't multiplayer and were single player, and they aren't single player. It's just like really annoying that happens all the time.
Wait, this isn't
But
multiplayer. This isn't.
it might be.
I
But it would
assume
have.
it would be.
It's probably multiplayer and like, but it has to be multiplayer, and I have to have like a group of at least two other people who would want to play it to motivate me to even try it. So I think the only one that I remember playing was like Torchlight, and that one was cool. That was a few years ago. We played a long time ago, actually, like 5-6 years ago that we played that, and that game was fun. But like, I don't know if those are games that I can enjoy by myself. Maybe I could. I don't know. I'd have to try it. I think it's. I have good things about the game though, but I could say right at this very moment, it's not something that excites me personally. So
I would play this game as long as it's multiplayer. I would play it. I like action RPGs. I thought they were cool. Torchlight was the game I was trying to remember, Kong, that we played on the Switch. It was the Switch, right? um,
Yep.
so I would definitely play this game if there's a group of people who's willing to get on, or even if Gunner is willing to play it. If it's multiplayer, I'll get on and play it myself with him.
I mean, I assume just quick. I assume it'd be multiplayer. A lot of these ARPGs do have a multiplayer function. I'll do more research now. Like again, it's coming to something I'll play on, and I'll obviously let you guys know. This has a decent chance of me playing it because I've been pretty kind of like um, hermit from multiplayer games. So we'll see. Maybe you'll see some um, logical gamers crew Last Epoch streams. Who knows? But anyway, moving on from Last Epoch is a game I can confidently say I'm not going to play. So, Seven Deadly Sins Origin, coming out January 28th, 2026 for PlayStation 5. It is a open world dungeon co-op exploration game set in the Seven Deadly Sins multiverse. So I know of Seven Deadly Sins. I know it is a pretty popular anime. I've never watched the anime. It's a shonen anime. I'm kind of not a shonen enjoyer anymore. So it's probably a genre that I wouldn't watch. No shade on the anime, it's just how it is. What I do like about this game that's different from anime games is a lot of anime games tend to be party um, brawler games. Like the Naruto games, the Dragon Ball Z games, the Jujutsu Kaisen games, they tend to be kind of Smash Brothers esque or Budokai esque fighting games. This one seems to be set in the world, and you get to do like dungeon crawling and um, RPG elements in the game. So it is different from your typical anime game. So that's refreshing to see. I can't tell you how many freaking beat 'em up, not even beat 'em up, but like kind of brawler party style games I've seen from anime. I think the only ones that can pull it off are DBZ. But this is kind of refreshing to see. Still probably won't play it, but kind of like the theme we've had for some of these games. If you are sorry, not Jujutsu Kaisen. If you're a Seven Deadly Sins fan and this is a game you've been waiting for, I hope it's everything you want and more. Um, the game doesn't have to be me to be good, be for me to be good. So wishing the best for the game, but it's definitely not something I'd be picking up. That's for sure.
All right. I think the game looks interesting. I have watched the Deadly Sins. Up to a certain point, I haven't like went further because there's like other, based on how Netflix set it up. There's like different seasons, and they're like a whole different entire like arc or whatever. Um, if I explain that right, I'd have to probably look it up more. But anyways, it looks interesting. It kind of reminds me of the RPG game that Inuyasha had way back in the days on the PlayStation 2, where you pretty much played a brand new character, and you were pretty much going through the motions of helping Inuyasha and the rest of the band of people within his camp to basically take on Naraku and whatnot. And it was a pretty fun game. It was turn based. It wasn't action RPG or whatnot, and it was pretty cool. This game, I'm still on the fence about. I'd probably have to see a little bit more. Um, but so far, it looks all right. Yeah, you know, I'm yeah, it's still a coin toss for me as to whether or not I decide to play it.
Never seen the anime. So I have nothing to say about that, good or bad or indifferent. But the gameplay looks okay. So if I strip away any interest or lack of interest in the anime's lore and story, I could probably play this just as a game. I would treat it as such. I would just treat it as like, well, this is just a no-name RPG that has action sequences in it. That's how I would treat it. So it could be something I could play. It reminds me of the Sword Art Online adventure games or real time action adventure RPG games, which are also like from a uh, just looking at it from the outside, just looks like a game. It's nothing special. Could be very good, right? For all I know. So it's something I could see myself maybe playing, and this is a big fucking maybe. Uh, if I see it for $10 at a GameStop in 5 years and I need a fourth game for their 4 for 40 sale or some stupid shit like that. Like that's the only scenario in which I could see myself buying and owning this. And then I would also have to be motivated to boot it up and actually try it. So like there's a lot of maybes and what ifs on that, but that's honestly how I feel about games like this. So that's where it's at. So take that for what
Yeah.
it's worth.
I saw some of the anime episodes, so I know the characters, but I'm not interested in in the game itself. I think Kong has a good point in sense of it being like, okay, the gameplay loop in itself could be interesting. I don't doubt that, but I'm personally not interested in the overall show or the overall game. I wasn't really interested in the show, so I'm not interested in the game in itself. Call me biased.
Bias. Nah, it's fine.
Mm.
All right. Next one is DLC for a game that's already out. So, the Blue Bomber, Mega Man, and Pro Man are for the latest Sonic racing game that's out, September 25th. Cool. I played. I don't know which one it was, but I did play an older. I think it was on PS3. One of the Sonic racing games. I mean, they're fun. They're kart racers. Apparently, this one is actually in some circles been reviewing better than Mario Kart World. Um, so take that for what you will. If you're a fan of Sega, this has a lot of obviously Sega characters. Has Hatsune Miku that get me to play. But and now we'll have Mega Man and Proto Man. So cool. I'm glad to see there are other kart racers out there. Hopefully Nintendo does not patent kart racing and sue Sega for infringing on their copyright. They seem to be very keen on doing that nowadays. So but if they don't, cool. More kart racers. Options. Never a bad thing. Um and now you get Mega Man and Proto Man. So cool. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. I kind of popped up when I saw Mega Man and Proto Man make an introduction, not because I was hype or anything, but because I was more. If I had to guess, essentially which game they would have made it on faster, it would have been Mario Kart World, simply because of the relationship that Capcom and Nintendo has. Like Mega Man essentially started on that platform, and it went through like what, I think 6 games before. Oh, and not to mention the X series, which went on like 3 games or something like that, before moving on to other platforms. So I just popped up and I was like, oh wow, I can't believe these characters were in Sonic Racing, or they're being announced for Sonic Racing. Let alone also shocked that they're actually in a racing game. I would not have expected any of them to be there, overall, honestly. But the game looks pretty solid. I did hear some good things about Sonic Racing. I haven't played Mario Kart World, so I can't really compare the two. I haven't played any of them, so I can't really compare the two. But I'm interested to see, besides the stage that they have. I think they showed like little snippets of it. I'm interested to see like what power ups they might have in association to Mega Man. Um, will they have different carts or whatnot? Um, it's not an introduction of characters for me to say like, whoa, let me go pick up the game right now. But it's nice to see Sonic Racing getting some guest entries into their game, and I wish it even more success.
Game looks fun. I played the older Sonic racing games. They're a good time. Mega Man's in it. That's dope. Would like a new Mega Man game. That'd be cool. That'd be cooler. But I'm sure Sega paid Capcom a decent amount to have Mega Man in there. So good on Capcom for making some money off of the IP, I guess. That's it. I mean, cool, neat.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be the ignorant one of the group. Sonic racing games don't make sense to me. It just doesn't. If I was Sonic, I wouldn't exactly get in a car to race my friends. It just doesn't make sense. I'm the fastest shit on the planet. Like,
You would have to
not
just
not adding
suspend
up.
your lore or attachment to the lore and just accept it
It,
for what it is.
it
I get
it's
it though.
it's too
But,
close. It's too
I
close.
mean, I mean,
I mean,
Can't.
if we want to be,
does Mario
if we
Kart
want
make
to
sense?
criticize it, like if Mega
How the
Man's
hell
gonna
he?
be in the game, okay, Proto Man's there too, and he has a skateboard basically. Okay, so why can't Mega Man just use Rush as a skateboard like he normally does? Why is Rush a car? Like I could
You
go
see?
down
Well,
that
maybe,
road,
You
well,
but like it's
maybe,
see?
not worth
well,
it.
maybe
I'm not gonna
Rush,
play it. I don't give a fuck.
maybe
Who
Rush
cares?
transformed into a car because he does transform into different
When has
vehicles
he
in the
ever done
game.
that?
Well, I mean, he
Right
hasn't done it,
now.
but he's done a hoverboard. He's done a ship, from what I
True.
recollect.
A
So
jet, true.
so why can't he be a car? Why can't he attempt
He
to
could
be?
absolutely be a
That's
car,
what I'm
but it would
saying.
be cooler if he was a skateboard, like in the fucking games. And Proto Man gets a skateboard. Why doesn't Mega Man get a skateboard when he had a skateboard? You know what I'm saying?
That
It's like the
no,
more
I
you
get it.
dig, the more
Mm-hmm.
annoyed you'll become. So this is like not worth it.
Listen,
I'm not gonna buy the game really. Like if I do, it'll be in the same situation as Seven Deadly Sins. I see it in a bargain bin. I need fourth or third game to meet to complete the deal. So I'll buy it. Just I have the old Sonic racing games. I have Transformed and I have the All Stars one. I have them both on PS3. Will I ever play
Mm-hmm.
it? Maybe. Maybe in 10 years if I have a kid or something and he's like, I want to play a racing game and I see it and it's like, yeah, well, let's play this together. Like these are the only scenarios in which I could see myself playing them, or even buying them. And so it's not worth. I'm talking about it because we're going around in a circle and we're talking about each game, so I don't want to not say, it's trash or pass. Like I want to give you a little more than that. So yeah, could
Yeah,
Rush transform into a car? Sure.
that's my
Should
thing.
he? No, probably not.
That's my
But
thing.
anyway,
My thing is like, it's the why I never really played the Sonic games because it just like, oh my gosh, this doesn't make sense to me. I can win this race if you just get out the car.
well,
Shadow, the
in
I
other
mean,
one,
in
like
Silver.
that
you
case,
could look at the
Mario
other games
doesn't
too,
make any
dude.
sense either because of the fact that he's
Mario
racing
makes
against it.
way more
I'm
sense.
not
No, but
I'm
I'm
not
saying
trying
because
to
he's
compare it
racing.
to Mario
He
though. If I was
no,
trying to compare it to Mario, when it comes down to character abilities, the Mario Kart games do make a lot more sense
no,
in them being in cars
I get that.
than the Sonic characters, because the Sonic characters are designed in speed.
No.
Period.
I absolutely get that. But in another like in the subject of why are they racing each other when they're all enemies doesn't
I'm
make any
not
sense.
I'm not
No,
even
I
worried
get
about
that.
that.
No,
That's not what I'm worried about.
I know
Listen,
that. I
what I'm
understand your
saying is
concept.
what I'm saying is I'm not gonna justify the Sonic game, period. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Personally. Um it doesn't make sense to me personally. It's always been an issue that I have. I don't care how ignorant I sound. It just doesn't make sense. That's like putting the Flash on a skateboard and expecting him to race Batman. That just doesn't make fucking sense to me. Like,
there
why
are
would I
there are
limit
certain
myself?
there are
Like,
certain lines that it's arbitrary. I'll give you that, esoteric. Like what you're
yes,
trying to say is like, oh well, why would Mario ever race Bowser when he's his sworn enemy? Yeah, sure, I get it. But like something about that is more acceptable than Sonic being in a car in a racing game. It's kind of like Superman being in Mortal Kombat and losing. It's like, what are we talking about, right? So like that's a line. The Sonic and Superman example or lines is just like, all right, brother. Like I was willing to try your game, but then you hit me with this nonsense. This is too ridiculous for me to even pretend to ignore. So like that's kind of the difference. And I know it's
that's
arbitrary,
it's
but
an
it's
arbitrary thing,
No,
yeah, because it's just a video game at the end. But it's just like, for me, it's just always been that's the major issue, which is like I've never been interested in the Sonic racing games. I will not sit here and doubt that they're bad games or argue that they're bad games. I would not argue that they're not fun or they're not interesting, or they are fun or they are interesting. I wouldn't argue that at all. I think it's a fair chance that every Sonic game gets or should get. But but yeah, it was just never something that I've ever found to be 100% interesting to me. And then at the same time, it's that issue alone. It's like, why am I even in this scenario to begin with? There are moments in any given video game at any given moment where bad guys team up with good guys, or they work together for the moment, or they call a truce just to get something done, or for the sport of something. That to me is it's a very common thing, or it's more acceptable. But then it's like it's the same thing as like why okay, let me just go out of context real quick, and maybe it'll make more sense. In the Suicide Squad video game, the Suicide Squad is tasked to killing the Justice League. There is three heroes that doesn't make any sense to me that they kill because of just the capabilities of those heroes in comparison to the people that's on the team. And when I look at it like that, it it's just like blah. They killed Superman, they killed the Flash, and they killed Batman. Those three heroes didn't make sense to me. It just didn't. It didn't make sense. And like a shark, a man with a boomerang, a girl with a hammer, and a dude who never misses regular gunshots. It just didn't make sense to me that they killed the Flash. Like it was like, okay, this is weird. So it's the same thing with the Sonic games. It's like, what the hell? Why am I in this scenario? Why am I trying to race Amy in a car? Even if she was in a car, she couldn't be faster than me. So why would I put myself in a car if I want to win this race? That doesn't make sense. It's just stupid. So it's elementary. It is. It is. I won't argue that, but it's just not for me. That's my little rant on Sonic games. I've always wanted to say. Just finally found the space to say it.
And on that note, stay tuned to Logical Gamers Sonic Racing because we're all gonna buy. No, not really. All right, so on to the next one. How are we doing on time, by the way? Because we got a couple more to go before we.
We're over, but let's still push through.
All right, so well, after a couple games, it's a great old Sony product placement that we can just skip over. So Neo 3,
No,
they
let's talk
gave.
about how stupid the shoe speakers look for a second.
Okay, all right, okay, we'll get to those. All right, um, Neo 3 is coming out in February 26th, February 6th. Um, Neo, I enjoyed the Neo series. They're basically a mixture of kind of like Dynasty Warriors with Souls. They've been leaning more towards the crazy combat of Dynasty Warriors than Souls as of the games progressed. Um, I didn't really play. I played the second one. I didn't play the DLC. I'll probably buy the Neo collection because that's 1 and 2 and DLC all on disc. I kind of like that. But yeah, I probably won't jump on this. But much like Kong said with like the discounted games, Neo will get discounted. It will get a price drop. I'll probably visit it then, or I'll just wait to the Game of the Year edition and get all the DLC on it. So I'm not jumping at it, but I do like the Neo series. So cool. I mean, if it wows me between now and February, I'll maybe change my tune, but I've got other stuff that I'm interested in. So, but cool Neo, cool.
Yeah, I agree. I also enjoy the Neo series. I haven't finished the first one. I did play a little bit of the second one, and I played the demo or the beta for 3, and they're all different experiences, but they're all good experiences. Um, I may just wait on Neo 3 simply because I like to play my games sequentially before starting them. So as of right now, it wouldn't make any sense for me to pick up Neo at launch because I know damn well that I am not going to finish 1 and then finish 2 to get to 3. Like, I have other games in my catalog currently that I'm looking to play. Also, October is probably going to be mostly horror games to fit the theme of October, which leaves November and December. So, yeah. Oh, well, January too. And there's other games that I also want to tackle between those months as well. So, that are not Nioh. So, I think the best course of action would be to wait. It's always going to be there. So, if I can, shave a couple of dollars off the purchase, then so be it. Yeah.
I only played the first Neo. I didn't finish it. I thought it was a pretty good game, but I got distracted with other stuff. Neo 2, I thought was a departure from what made Neo the first game interesting. Even though they try new things, which I'd probably like, but I didn't like that they made it more crazy. I kind of liked like the first game was crazy, but like I liked the groundedness of the first game. Um, I don't like flashy combat. Like flashy combat can work, but I think sometimes it takes away from the game and like it. I don't know. It just something about it just deters me from playing. And this one seems more about like story and like again more flashy combat and transformations and all this other shit. And I'm just like, I think I'm good. So again, it'll be in the bargain bin in 3 years, and I'll get it then. So
I don't have anything against the Neo games. I played the beginning. I played the beginning half of the first game, and then I stopped and never tried it again. If I was to play Neo 3, if it is a consistent story-driven game, then yes, I would want to play Neo 1 and 2 over to make sure that I understand what's going on. Um, but I personally don't have anything against the games. Maybe one day something will click in me. Devil May Cry came out how many years ago? And it's only been, 3 months ago since I've played all the Devil May Cry games. So I'm not saying that it's out of my realm of possibility to play. I uh, just haven't played the first one to play the second one to have a true interest in the third one, if they even connect in story, because I'm not sure.
I don't think that they do. I think it's a vague connection, but I think I think for the most part they're all like separate stories. It might be connected to two. I'm not too sure because it does share similarities, at least from art style and like
Mhm.
what they're trying to do. I don't know for sure, but
Yeah, I mean there is a connection because there's a ninja. They showed him very briefly. There's a ninja character who directly guides William from the first game, so it's in the same world. So you probably would benefit from playing at least the first one fully. I'm not sure about the second
Okay.
one, but definitely the first one fully. Um,
Mm.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay, on to the next one is probably one that I will only ever play and continue to be made fun of for playing, but it's okay. That's my lot in life, and it's fine. Um, Koei Temco is remastering Dynasty Warriors 3. Um, this is my guilty pleasure game. I like these games. I will not try and stand on a pedestal and say they are highbrow gaming. They are you press square and triangle to do combos and you kill a bunch of soldiers and that's it. It's a power fantasy, literally. Just set in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era. I don't know if I'm gonna jump on this one. I know Dynasty Warriors 3 is a lot of people like it. I like Dynasty Warriors 4 the most. I hear everybody in the panel saying, "What's the difference?" It doesn't matter. None of it matters. So um, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't, but that's it. That's it from me. I'm not gonna sit here and defend it because it's fine. It's fine. It's fine that we like what we like.
True.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's just not for me. It's not a game that I would play. The only one that I have played was a spin-off, and that was the Gundam game. And that's only because the it the gameplay for that game kind of correlates with the show to some degree, where like you're pretty much beating mobile units in waves, and that's why I enjoyed that game. But I it it came to a quick halt after a while, so I kind of like stopped playing. So it's a no for me with Dynasty Warriors.
I'm happy for Dynasty Warriors fans.
I don't play Dynasty Warrior games, so I will pass on this. But much like Kong, I'm happy for Dynasty Warrior games. I no longer in a boat to judge Dynasty Warrior players, I guess, and how and that kind of game it is, because there are games that I play that even my circle of friends question why I even play. So I will respect the interest.
Yeah, you playing them furry games late at night, bro? I be seeing you on Steam. I
That-
can't say I approve.
I was referring to Marvel Rivals and games of such, ilk, but fine.
Well, Marvel Rivals isn't the problem. It's the having to deal with randoms who don't want to run a cohesive team that's the issue. At least for me. I don't think Marvel Rivals is a bad game. I just get frustrated having to deal with random people who don't know what they're doing, who don't want to follow what their character is supposed to do,
And
and we're
that is
constantly
your
using.
cross to bear, and I wish you luck.
Okay,
Yes.
next game.
All right. Next one is a sequel to the dubbed Weeb Dark Souls, Code Vein 2. Is a obviously sequel to Code Vein, coming out on January 30th, 2026. I enjoyed Code Vein immensely. It is very, very anime. It is anime as fuck, as some would say. You got girls with big anime titties. You got the damsel in distress you gotta save. It's a Souls game. It's that genre. So if that's your cup of tea, if you liked Code Vein, you're gonna like this one. This one clearly has a bigger budget because the models look a lot cleaner than the first game. So yeah, I'll probably pick it up if there's nothing in that window that like I'm playing at the moment or I want more. I'll probably pick it up day one unless I hear something horrible like performance issues, because that seems to be a running theme in modern gaming. So yeah, I'm down with Weeb Dark Souls. It was cool. It was deep. It like had an interesting kind of combat system. It wasn't like it wasn't a direct clone of a Souls game, but it's definitely a Souls-like game. So, yeah, cool. I'm happy for it. So, yeah, I'll probably pick it up unless something egregious happens.
Okay. I'm all for Souls and Souls like games. I haven't played the first Code Vein, so I might do that before I even think of playing the second one. From what I saw, it looks good. My only gripe about it at a glance, and this is just me assuming things because I haven't actually played it, is that it doesn't look it doesn't look like it has impact. So as you're swinging your blade, it doesn't feel. I don't see that resistance or that impact feel when the character was like hitting enemies or whatnot. But it's probably something that I would just have to play to see for myself, to kind of gauge. Um, but besides that, yeah, it looks really cool. Looks really interesting. And yeah, I'd be interested in buying it.
Bargain bin in like 3 to 4 years, probably. Looks fine. I think I have the first one. I think I paid like $10 for it, and I intend to do the same with the second game. Sorry.
I don't have any gripe against the game, but I just don't see myself playing it. That's all.
All right.
I will say the
So,
collector's edition looks pretty cool. I got an
yeah,
email for it. So
you okay. Wolf had his little thing about something we'll never mention in another podcast. I think if you're gonna buy a collector's edition, buy an anime game collector's edition, because they're one of the few ones that actually have work put into them. If it's any
Hmm.
Western game, you are
Hmm.
rolling the dice and you are more than likely gonna lose. I'm looking at you, Metal Gear Solid Delta. Um,
Uh,
so yeah, anime collector's editions are usually a safe bet. Anyway, moving on, we are nearing the end. This one is a weird one, but it's a weird studio. So a new game from Grasshopper manufacturer called Let It Die Inferno got a release date of December 3rd, 2025. From the trailer, it is a extraction-based game, PvP VE. So you'll be fighting players, you will be fighting NPCs, and it's an extraction shooter. So for those that don't know, quickly, an extraction shooter, you drop in a world. There is loot, guns, weapon, armor, ammo, all that good stuff. Your goal is to hoard or collect top quality loot and evac yourself from the zone while fighting other players. And if you are killed, you're dead, you drop all your loot, you move on to the next game. If you kill the enemy player, you get their loot, and they also lose everything and move on to the next game. Um, Not my style of game. Again, I am not really multiplayer guy anymore. So when they said PvP, I kind of checked out. Looks interesting, looks wacky. Grasshopper manufacturer makes a lot of weird, kind of kooky games, so this one might be interesting to look at. But unless like some of these guys said, unless we all decide we're gonna play, that'd probably be the only time I consider picking this up. If it was just me by myself, I probably wouldn't be interested in this. So looks interesting, but probably not going to be something I get unless we all get. So that's my thoughts on it.
It looks like a interesting game. I just have to see more, and yeah, that's pretty much it from me.
I like the art style and the kookiness of it. And the concept is interesting. I've played a few extraction shooters before, and they're kind of hit or miss. But I always wish that they weren't forced again to be multiplayer games. I wish there was like some sort of offline option, and there isn't one in this game. I looked it up, in between us watching the video and doing this recording, and so I'm out. There's no offline mode or offline campaign or just PvE mode. I'm done.
Ugh.
So not interested. Not gonna buy. Too bad because I actually liked the game. Where I was at least intrigued by the game. So
It's one of those games that the group has to be a part of. I'm not gonna play by myself, but if there's ever a time in the future where any one of you want to jump on, then I like playing multiplayer games because multiplayer games allows me to stay connected to you guys since we're all over America right now. But yeah, it's not something I'm gonna buy myself. It would have to definitely be a group effort.
All right, so on to the next one. Crimson Desert. Apparently, according to the Destructoid blurb, it is a open world action RPG game. I thought this was the sequel to Black Desert Online. I thought this was an MMO. It showed us almost nothing. It looks pretty, I guess. They showed main character walking in an environment, so the environments look nice. But other than that, I know nothing about this game. So I don't have a positive view. I don't have a negative view. I have no view. Um, this is set to release in March 19th of 2026. So a decent ways away. If more information comes out and I happen to see and it looks interesting, maybe. But from what they've shown, it just looks nice. That's about the extent of it. And I'm over games that look nice because I've been burned too many times by that. So I'll leave it at that. That's where I'm at for that game.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, that makes sense. I'm just a little annoyed about this game or the presentation, because for something that's being released in the first quarter of next year, you think that they'll be able to provide gameplay at the state of play. I mean, like, if I had to think, you'd have to be well in development to kind of show something, unless you're just gonna like do a rush job between now and like March. Um, it
This
just
is
doesn't make any sense
this
to me.
is the
But
big 2025. So that would not surprise me.
yeah, well, again, my thoughts are in the same vein as yours. Gonna, I just have to wait and see. They didn't produce any gameplay, just walk sequences and great cinematics. So yeah, I can't make a basis off of that. So that's it for me.
If this was 10 years ago, I would have been hyped for this game. But to piggyback off what you guys were saying, there wasn't enough shown. And considering this game comes out in 6 months or so, and the fact that they don't have anything strong to show besides a bunch of pseudo gameplay and cinematics, tells me that the game doesn't exist. This looks like another 1886 situation, the Order 1886 situation, where they'll show pseudo gameplay, they'll show really pretty cinematics, they'll show an interesting world, and then you play it and you beat it in a day or two, and it's like, I paid $80 for that piece of shit, or I wasted my weekend playing that. That's what this game looks like. So I probably won't be buying it. I will keep an eye on it because I could be wrong. But recent history tells me that I won't be wrong. That it will be a flop. That it will be a waste of time. It'll probably be glitchy and buggy and unplayable. And so I'm not interested in dealing with that. So this is going to be a pass for me. Maybe I'll get it in a bargain bin along with the other games I mentioned during this podcast in 5 or 6 years.
You love your bargain bins.
I will pay what is worth, and an experience like that, I'll throw them $10.
Yeah, as you should.
Whatever old game store I buy it in in 5 years. So yeah, that's how I feel about all these like newer games. They just like, they either are worth getting into, or they're not worth getting into, or they're worth getting into when they're worth $10.
True. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. That a lot of these games, they come out, they seem so, they're just like, it's a lot of fluff, a lot of, it's like a facade that they're wearing, and it makes the games seem interesting. But then, because we've been burned enough time by these types of games, it's just like low expectations at this point. So why jump in and gamble or invest full price for a game when you can just wait it out a little bit and get it at a discounted price?
Yep. I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. I've played games like Expedition 33 and Silksong. You got to bring something more to the table if you want me to give you $70. So
I mean, you were burned recently with Soul Aside or Lost Soul Aside,
Lost Soul
right?
Aside,
correct.
yeah.
I did. Yeah. And
that game looks exactly like this other game that we just talked, Crimson Black Desert, whatever the fuck. Like, one and the same. Like, they look kind of interesting. The concept looks interesting. They showed pseudo gameplay, and it's like, okay, well, I think I could play that. And then you play, and it's like, what is this? Like,
yep.
it's like they show you this great looking pizza, and then I'll take a slice of that, and they go pull out the old pizza, and here you go, and it's like, what the fuck is this? I don't. This is not
It
how
fell
that
on the
works.
floor a couple times, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
It makes a lot of sense.
All right, so we'll talk about one peripheral. This is not a game that Sony is gracing us with. Their Pulse Elevate wireless speakers. Going off the Destructoid blurb, they don't have a price, they don't have a release date. But apparently this is a speaker that connects to your PC, your PlayStation 5, obviously. It can connect wirelessly via Bluetooth to your Portal for all you Portal fans out there. This is retarded. I looked them up. I have $30 Logitech speakers hooked up to my monitor for my PlayStation 5, and they work just fine. I don't see any. Well, no, that's a stupid question. Anybody logical getting this? But if you're a Sony head, yeah, you'll probably get this because you also have a Portal. So this is dumb. Moving on. I'll pass it to you guys. This is stupid.
I think
So, go ahead, brother.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think people who are
You'll have more
like,
positive things to say.
well, I was just gonna say I think people who are interested in like sound bars or home systems would be more inclined to getting this. I don't think this is something that would uh expand the gaming experience. Honestly, I don't think their focus should be more peripherals. It should be better games. And dealing with like actual exclusives that they have. Like, instead of this, maybe we could have gotten a Sly Cooper or something else. But yeah, this is something that's geared towards people who have that elaborate setup where it's like the sound quality matters, which doesn't make sense because people probably already got the Pulse headset, so I don't know why they would use Pulse speak, but whatever. Yeah, go ahead, Colin. Go ahead.
The day that Sony saw Microsoft sell a controller for more than $100 is the day that they decided to do the same. And when they successfully did that and they managed to sell headsets and control extensions like the little control freaks and uh, extra buttons. I don't know if you remember the PS4 back button attachment. And what else? What other stupid shit that they tried to sell people or successfully sold people? Grips, because the PS5 controller is a slippery piece of shit. Um, Once they figured out that they could sell you all this other shit, it wasn't a question of if, but when they would introduce more dumb shit. And so today was just another example of that. And they are trying to sell us speakers, which were things that came inside of our televisions long ago. Now they're trying to sell it to us separately from our already existing devices. And a lot of monitors don't have speakers built in. So now
That is true.
they can sell you a fucking speaker set that look like fucking dumb, retarded fucking sneakers that don't have ends on them. They just kind of look like the tops of sneakers, and they do the little elevate
They
thing.
can
And I'm
rear
just
up.
like,
That was a promotional feature.
and it's just like, this is so dumb. But like, people are gonna fucking buy it. There's gonna be a guy who's gonna see it and be like, oh, this is the best speaker to get for PS5. Oh, so if I don't want to use this set, I use this. It's like, and then the salesperson's gonna be like, yeah, it's really cool, and it's gonna sell for $100 maybe, or $120, and then they're gonna buy it, and it's gonna sit there, and they're never gonna fucking use it. Like, ever since Sony makes an enormous amount of money on, if you look at their financial reports, the amount of money they make from peripherals is fucking disgusting. It's gross how much money they make from controllers and controller attachments and headsets. That is such a huge moneymaker for them. It's such a profitable category that it wouldn't surprise me if they try to, I don't know, what else. Modems, like Wi-Fi modems, like what's next? What could they sell us next? Fucking lights for your like they're gonna sell us something. Even the console has detachable parts. Like that's all by design. And so they're gonna keep selling us dumb shit, and people are gonna keep buying it, and they're gonna keep making the dumb shit. So I just wanted to make fun of it. We can move on.
Anything
And if
to
you
add, Wolf? Or...
if you buy it, you're a slop enjoyer. So don't
No,
complain.
of course I don't have anything towards that. That's no, I didn't. Honestly, when we were watching the video and he came by, I took that time to go piss. So I no,
Fair
I'm
enough.
good.
All right. So, we're gonna move along. They showed God of War controller, whoop-de-doo. Monthly games, whoop-de-doo, and the piece de resistance of the state of play was Insomniac's. That is who they are, right? Insomniac's new Marvel Wolverine game. We're super over time. I'll keep it brief. This is made by the same people who made the Spider-Man games. I thought the first Spider-Man game was fine. I'm a pseudo Spider-Man fan from like the 90s television show. That's my major exposure to Spider-Man. So I played that game. I did enjoy that game. Do not like the second one for a myriad of reasons that don't solely have to do with the actual game. I don't want to get into it. Those same reasons will also be present in the Wolverine games. For anybody that knows Sweet Baby Inc., they have worked on this game, so expect all of that. So I would not give them my money, even if I was a super huge Wolverine fan. Game kind of looks bog standard. I imagine it's going to play very similar to the Spider-Man games. It's gory, cool, I guess. Um, it would have to be to justify its existence, unless Wolverine is fighting robots all day. So I think that's a given. They use that as a selling point. And that blood tech is really good, and they worked really hard on that. So you should care. I'm not buying this at all, any capacity. Bargain bin, you'd have to give this to me free, and it would probably sit like Diablo 4. I got that game for free, still haven't played it. So I'm not interested in this in the slightest. If it fails, I will shed no tears. That's it. That's it for me.
Damn.
Well, I am on the other side of the spectrum. I think the game looks interesting. I plan on picking it up, and I plan on playing it. So yeah, that's it for me.
I can't wait to watch you stream and you get the gay Wolverine sex scene. I can't wait to see that because it's going to happen. And the, for Gunner's point, he was fighting robots, by the way. When he was cutting them up, you saw like the electricity and stuff, but they also spit blood. So they're like, I guess,
Androids.
either hybrids or maybe they're androids or something like that. So he basically is fighting robots, which I guess not to make it too gory
You're
and
not really
too
killing humans. You're killing
you're killing
robot
like
humans. I guess.
robots who emulate humans
Sure.
or something like that. Whatever, right? At least they didn't make the blood blue or some shit, right?
Mm.
So I thought the blood effect looked cool. I think they did a good job with that. The game looks good, right? Like it's very pretty. The gameplay that they did show, it just looks like Arkham or Spider-Man. Like
Spider-Man.
where you just kind of have like this targeting combat system where you kind of fly from one enemy to the next and do like little combos and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the gameplay will be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine to good. I don't know if it's going to blow anybody away. I don't know if it's going to rock the world as far as like new tech in the action genre. I think it's just going to be like you said, box standard. I will not be buying this game. I will buy it if I find it cheap somewhere. I've been burned too many times by these guys. So um, and the fact that just like the little snippets of like some of the devs talking about Wolverine's sad story, and I know the game's going to be gay. Like it's not going to be the badass game that it's supposed to be. It's going to be some extra flowery shit, and I'm not really all that interested. I saw what they did with Spider-Man 2. I hated it. I fell asleep multiple times watching Esoteric stream it. Not because Esoteric is a bad streamer, because the game just wasn't all that interesting from a lore, story standpoint. So, for those who are waiting for that big first-party title, this is it. It comes out next year. I hope you like it, and I hope for your sake they don't make Wolverine gay or something stupid like that. Not that I have anything against gay people, but like why they're making these characters way too emotional and way too just not interesting in my opinion. Maybe I'm just too old school, or maybe I'm too stuck in my ways, but that's how I honestly feel. So we'll see what happens. I'm not looking forward to it, but for those who are, good for you. Have fun with it. It's sitting right there with Last of Us 2. Probably never get it until it becomes like a $5 game.
Giving a lot more credit than me, but hey, I get it.
I'm just not interested in Wolverine as a character. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't play the game. But I've have learned to understand why there are people who wouldn't play the Wolverine game because of the changes that they did to, let's say, better market the Spider-Man game. But I still thought that, mechanically speaking, I thought that the Spider-Man games were still good games. Both of them,
I'd agree.
mechanically speaking,
Yeah.
were still good games. And that's why I agree with Esoteric on Wolverine game being a mechanically good game. Like I could probably see my
I don't
oldest
doubt that at all.
son
Yeah.
playing it, right? I would not allow my 10-year-old to play it.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, but that's only because of the gore and I can assume mature content that would be in it, not because it's Wolverine. I am not playing it because it's Wolverine. So that's all it is for me, really. If it was any other hero other than Wolverine and Deadpool, I think I would have played it. But no, that's it. Other than that, it's
I have good faith that the game will be good.
I again, I have my reasons for not wanting to even get it at the bargain bin. Those are my reasons. But if it's your thing, hey, I hope you enjoy it.
And a side
I
note, no Ghost of Yotei, and that's supposed to come out in like a month, right? Or not even, like in a few weeks.
comes out a few weeks.
I think next week or something like
next
that.
week.
And
Yeah.
there wasn't even like a sizzle trailer or anything for that, so that's weird. I expected to see something for that game just to
Yeah.
market it.
Yeah, I
So
get they
that was
could
weird.
have, because they
Not
did
that I'm
talk
gonna
about.
buy it, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, because they've already shown enough trailers about it, but they did show a trailer for Final Fantasy Tactics that comes out also next week, and it's a remake of a PSP PlayStation game. So they could have done it, but if anybody knows what's going on in the news with that, I think Sony kind of wants that to just kind of float under the radar currently and just release. So take that for what you will. Jin Sakai is a better main character. Anyway, so before we wrap up, we did watch it. I don't know if I know we're super over time. We did see the Monster Hunter free title update trailer. Do we want to talk about that? Do we not give a shit about it?
I guess we could briefly touch on it.
All right, so I'll go quickly. Neat. I still think the Behemoth fight is better. I will give them credit. This does look a little bit more involved. For those that don't know, the creature is Omega Weapon, an iconic Final Fantasy monster. This one specifically from FF14. He seems to be able to summon monsters. Like he summoned a Nasilla, so he could probably duplicate or create other monsters in the fight, which is neat. They have a mechanic much like the Akuma mechanic, where you can play as a Dark Knight and simulate Dark Knight moves from FF14 and also Pictomancer from FF14. This will not get me back into the game. I'm over Wilds and Final Fantasy 14, so this mesh is not a selling point for me. But hey, look, if you play 14, you play Wilds, congratulations, you get a good one. Still do the Behemoth fight because I still think that's a better overall. So that's my quick and dirty thoughts.
All right, guess I'll go. Of all the monsters that they could have chose within the Final Fantasy library, they decided to choose a mechanical being. I personally don't think that was a good pick. They had so many other options. They had Marlboro, they had Koharl, you know, they a couple others as well. They could have even did like maybe one of the Aeons from 10 or whatever, but they decided to go with the mechanical stuff. I personally don't care. I don't see the point of summoning a monster when like you're you're an introductory character to this game, and your biggest thing is summoning monsters. Come on now. It moving forward, I guess. Gogmazio's coming back. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I didn't think that he would ever come back. I thought he was just gonna be stuck in 4. I believe it was 4 that he was on. So it's cool that he's coming back. But yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be like I didn't even play the last title update they had or whatever. I think Legiacris was the introductory monster for that one. I didn't even play that, so I guess I'm just waiting for hopefully a redeemable expansion, which I highly doubt that because the only way to redeem themselves is to kind of tone down the mechanics that took away from what Monster Hunter is. But yeah, overall, I didn't really care about the title update. It didn't do anything for me.
I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, so I'm not gonna sit here and like say, oh, they should have used this guy or this guy, because I don't know enough to like really have a real opinion on it. Could they have chosen a better fight or a better like creature from that universe? Probably, yeah. I could see that. Do I care? No, it doesn't matter because my problem isn't with necessarily the specific like enemy content in Monster Hunter Wilds. It's with the core mechanics and the core feel and the core gameplay loop. I think they dropped the ball big time. I mentioned this probably dozens of times by this point on multiple episodes since Wilds has come out. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. Um, but I will say that the mechanically the new fight with the Sentry is it called or the Sentinel 10 or something like that, whatever it's called, the new iRobot thing. I think mechanically the fight looks
Oh,
interesting.
Omega Weapon. You're talking about? Okay, Oh, what we just saw? Yeah, it's Omega Weapon. Yeah.
Omega Weapon, that
Yeah.
thing. I told you I wasn't a fan.
I thought there was something else because I have not been keeping track of this game at all.
No, it's that thing, the little robot with the eye.
Okay, yeah.
So, I think mechanically the fight looks interesting. I kind of dig the whole introducing Final Fantasy classes into the weapon classes and making them like a part of a moveset. That's kind of cool. But again, it's just not enough. Like the game needs a complete overhaul for me to go back and try it again. And there's no piece of content that's going to make me want to go back because I have problems with the game from a fundamental standpoint. Because Mazio's coming back, I think is cool. I didn't love the monster back then, but it's cool that they're bringing back another monster from 4. So I'll never be mad at that. But it's not content that I'm going to play. Probably, likely I won't touch it unless there's a big expansion for Wilds in the future, and they somehow redeem it and make it playable. In my opinion, then I would revisit what would be old content, what is new content now. That's the only way I would ever play it. So we'll see what happens. But as it stands right now, Monster Hunter is still in remission for me personally.
I'm conflicted, to be honest. I'm conflicted because I after watching the fight or seeing how the fight plays out, I think it's a good fight for the mechanics of Monster Hunter WoW, which was a thing that I did like. Why I liked Arkvale as a monster before, because I felt like mechanically speaking, he was good for Monster Hunter WoW's mechanic. He was the right kind of monster. He was predictable enough for you to want to learn the fight. Um, but then at the same time, he also was um, hard where you were still challenged in a sense, but you can still use things like the offset attack and the blocking thing. Like he was a monster that allowed you to utilize all the mechanics of your weapon, of at least my particular weapon. And it looks like this fight does the same thing, personally. Um, I do agree. I don't think the Omega weapon was a good choice. I would have liked it if it was Ifrit, um, or Behemoth. Not Behemoth, Bahamut. But let's see what they do. I mean, this could be the first collaboration, and they come out with another collaboration later. Who knows? Um, but yeah, the monster. It's so weird that they chose that monster that it's really hard for me to say that it's a fight that I'm interested in. But what I do like is they gave the great sword some attention. That's nice. Um, there is things in the fight that the great sword, it showed a projectile, so I want to know if, like what Gunnar said, it's has to be linked with the armor and the weapon, where I have to wear the whole set to get that kind of thing, or is it a weapon skill on that particular great sword? I thought that was pretty cool to have the great sword do a projectile. I also thought it was pretty cool that they, gave Final Fantasy a lot of like Final Fantasy move sets from the video game. But at the same time, I'm conflicted because I want to like Monster Hunter Wilds, but it's just not hitting. It's not hitting the right spots for me
Same, bro.
personally. Yeah.
I swore that this was going to be a game that we were going to be playing ongoing like Generations Ultimate when we were mainlining that into our veins. But
Yeah, and
it's-
guys, Matthew's returning is I don't feel no way about it. It's okay that he's returning. Um, Another big Elder Dragon, I guess. So let's see how that fight goes. But what really has me interested is how they did what they did for Pictomancer, is what it's
mhm,
called,
yeah,
and the Dark Knight.
And it looks like those special moves deal significant damage. So who knows? It could be even a viable thing to use in the game, which again will add weapon variety. But Wiles, man, Wiles.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is it's free, so if anybody just like, just like, you know what, fuck it, it's free. So at least you don't have to pay for it. So that's a redeeming quality. And much like Behemoth, they are also doing something in Final Fantasy for the game. So it's cool to see that collaboration is still going on and still going strong. It's just I'm kind of out on both of the games, so I'm like, meh, personally. All right. So on that note, I think we are super overtime, mega over. So we'll wrap it up here. That, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you even stuck around this long, mad props. You deserve a like instead of us, but give us a like anyway. Um, let us know. Were there any games that you saw that you were excited about? Any games that we got wrong? Or do you share our opinions on what we liked, what we didn't like, and what we were meh on? As far as Monster Hunter goes, are you hyped for the collab? Are you hyped for Gogmazios? Excuse me. Or are you like us and you're like, call me when there's a better game? Let us know. Comment, like, and subscribe. We appreciate all of you that watch. Social medias, we got them. If you use them, make sure you follow us. Mr. Esoteric is our streamer. He streams a variety of games from double, triple, quadruple, quintuple A. He's got all your A's. So if you're an A guy, he'll be streaming it. Currently, he's been streaming Lies of P. He's been really enjoying that game. So he'll put up impromptu streams every now and then. Follow, and you'll get notified when he's on. On that note, thank you once again for watching. Thank you, gentlemen, for being wonderful panelists as always. And I will see you all in the next episode.